we need to talk about Collingwood's newest recruit, hopefully, Alex Condon. Let's get into it. So you might remember back last year I made a video about Alex Condon. I don't think it was a specific video, but it was a little bit of a touch on him about how this 212 centimeter basketball prospect is going to be joining the Pies as a Cat B rookie. So that was last year. That was back in April last year. Craig McRae went on SEN and kind of talked about him with Gazy and Andy Marr. And he was saying that Fly, they've put in a lot of work into this WA basketball prospect, and they invited him to Anzac Day. They gave him the captain's run into the rooms and all this sort of stuff. They invited him and his dad to say, if the NBA doesn't work out, this is what you can experience. Now, Alex Condon, like I said, 212 centimeters, 20 years old. He'll sign as a Cat B rookie, so Collingwood have pretty much signed, or it'll be signed as early as next week. So pretty much what happens is he's going to be playing basketball for the Florida Gators, so the University of Florida. He has a scholarship there in the hopes of being drafted by the NBA. Now, if he gets drafted, if he doesn't get drafted, that's a whole different story, but I'll give you the two scenarios. So the draft is being held in June next year. At the moment, all NBA draft fantasy, stuff like that, don't have him in the top 100 players. They don't have him in the top 180 players to get drafted. So kind of looking good for us. Kind of sad that he probably can't pursue that dream. But if he doesn't get drafted by the NBA, his contract that he'll sign for Collingwood as early as next week makes him a Collingwood player as a Cat B rookie. Now, you remember Mason Cox was a Cat B rookie, Will Parker was a Cat B rookie as well. It's when they're out of the footballing world for like 3 or so years. Now, if he does sign for the NBA, if he gets drafted by the NBA, the Pies contract that he signs next week or whenever it is voided. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, we're going to be spending money on this player for 8 months and, it's just a waste of money. Well, this money that in the contract that we're going to be paying him is sitting outside of the cap. So we're not really taking a big hit on it. It's just a nice little nest egg, hopefully, for when it's hard because as a Collingwood supporter and looking at this guy, you kind of want to be like, I hope he doesn't get drafted into the NBA because he's going to be such a good player for us. But then your empathy towards him is like, I hope he gets to pursue his dreams of becoming an NBA player. So you're kind of sitting in two camps and you're happy for him both ways. But as a Collingwood supporter, you're a little bit more happy if he doesn't get drafted into the NBA. So Alex Condon, back in 2022, that's Will Ashcroft's draft year, he was touted as a top 5 pick from Claremont, WA. That says a lot, right? So West Coast would have had their hands in him. I was reading that Hawthorn had their hands in him as well. But ultimately, he chose Collingwood for Fly's development of Mason Cox. That was a big thing. And who doesn't want to play for the Pies as a big club? So if he doesn't get drafted by the NBA next year, he becomes a Collingwood player as a Cat B rookie. You're getting a top 5 draft pick, right? For practically free as a Cat B rookie. So he's off the list a little bit. And you just got to look at Will Parker. Obviously played cricket. We signed him. He was touted as a top 20 draft pick. And, Will Parker, I was a little bit harsh on him this season when he was the sub and stuff. But was it that last game where he was playing with Ed Allen where we did see him get moving a little bit and he's like, playing off that half back line sort of. And you got to think that he came in pretty late into our preseason. So he'll get a full preseason this year and next year. And we get to see a lot more of Will Parker. So it's practically a free hit for a top 5 draft pick, and that doesn't happen every single year. Craig McRae in that interview also said that, this hasn't been a couple of weeks coming. Derek Hine has been putting in the work since 2021, 2022, back when he was 17 and an 18-year-old. Back in 2022, when he was touted as that top 5 draft pick, he was sitting at 78 kilos, 201 centimeters. Now he's about that 100 kilo range at 212 centimeters. So I think Mason Cox is 211 centimeters, so 1 centimeter taller than Cox, 20 years old. And unlike Cox, and we've seen Cox grow into a good footballer, unlike Cox, Condon started with the AFL, so he was ball in hand. His athleticism in his draft year, it was his athleticism, his ruck prowess, so no one could compete against him. It was his hands with the ball, his marking, and we know that basketball background, but it does help a lot with the hand-eye coordination, with keeping the ball with you, with that time and space, because basketball, just like football, is a fast-paced environment. Just look what it did to, I'm Scott Pendlebury, and I know Scott Pendlebury is the poster boy for basketball background, but of course he is, because he's Scott Pendlebury, and he came with a basketball background, and now look at him, right? So I think this is just an absolute steal if we can get Alex Condon onto the list. Look, he is on the list for all intents and purposes. He is on the list. If he gets drafted to the NBA, he's not on the list. If he doesn't get drafted into the NBA in June or July, whenever the draft is, he gets straight into the Collingwood team, and he gets to train with us, and he could probably play with us, if that. I think it's great cover. So that will be next year, so 2025. That is when we see the, probably see, not the decline, but the retirement of Mason Cox. He's got a year left in his contract, and Condon is that next player up, which is absolutely incredible. And, you know, I want to make a video about it a little bit later, about our youth, and there's a lot of talk how we're going to fall off a cliff at the end of 2025. So I'll do a video about that later, but I'm very, very excited about Alex Condon. Let me know your thoughts down below, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.